And we're live. Happy Sunday, everybody. Oh, what a cold, miserable weekend it's been here. I've been like in the house hiding and stuff. It's terrible, terrible. But we got a break in the weather coming like this week, so they get back to action soon. So who do we got in the house here tonight? Oh, I got a bunch of this. Scoop, Mark Sauvé, Oscar Gonzalez, Tumbleweed, Bobby Z, what's happening? Wayne Buzzle, Turn Back Now. So does it, was that, so does the great meltdown start tomorrow? Yeah, I believe it. Well, which great meltdown? Lots of things can melt down. Mo Pomelo. Oh, it's Kathy Bananas or Cinnamon Bananas, which is her street name. Yeah. Thank you, baby. You're awesome. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hey. So I'm just greeting everybody, actually.
Yeah.
Not myself here now. 72Z28. Who's that beatnik screwing with the Top Fuel dragster? Which beatnik? Which Top Fuel dragster? Let's see. Mexican stack, what's happening, brother? 72, yeah, 72Z20. Trash Panda and regular Panda are almost the same thing. Well, yeah. Let's see. KJ Kylie, what's happening? Another oldie pick, Tony. I don't know what you see, I don't know what pictures she puts up. I have no idea. Last week it was me. Oh yeah. Hang on now. Yeah, that was me in 1990. That was my car. That was my my slingshot dragster before. Wait, was it? I don't remember which car that was. Hang on. I can't see it. Went away. Well, I don't know. It was one of my cars. Operation Order was the thumbnail of your great grandson looks just like you. I was let's see, I would have been about that was like 1990. So I would have been like 36. No, how old would I have been? I don't know. I'm 64. I don't even know. I was young. Billy saying like he's using a crescent wrench in a thumbnail. When you work on a fuel cars, crescent wrenches are everywhere because when you have to work fast, you can't be fumbling for different size wrenches. So you've always got at least one, sometimes two crescent wrenches in your back pocket. You'll have a small one for smaller lines and a large one for for larger lines. But you always have one or two crescent wrenches in one pocket, and you always have rag in the other pocket, and sometimes duct tape. Ronald Jones, what's happening, brother? Hey, Tony, to drop in silver. Wasn't that great? Oh, I went and bought. I missed the bottom. I missed the bottom. It flattened out, and it just started to come up, and I loaded up, but I didn't load up at the very bottom. Hopefully, we get another chance this week. I was just watching. With any luck, should come down a little bit more. It should. It should. I want to see 60. I want to see like 55 or thereabouts. I think that would be a healthy pullback. I don't think the pullback is done yet. I don't think it's done yet. Shannon, yeah, adjustable hammer, yes. Robert Trio, you just bought some more junk silver for spot on the dip. There you go. Who do you, Scoop is asking, who do I buy it from? I have a local dealer his name is Guy. He gives me a really good deal. We're able to lock in at certain prices. Like if I had locked in at the price on Friday and it went up today, it would have been cool. He would have taken the loss on it. So no, he's really good. Smyrna Coin and Jewelry, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area. Wrinkled engine, copper is the metal to own. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I've been buying copper. All the beans racing. Tony, are you going to the no name nationals this year? I don't go any place where I might be recognized. I'll go to the track, I'll test in 2 nights, stuff like that. But I don't go to any events where like I have to be YouTube Tony. I only go to places where I could be Tony just hanging out. Um, Canuck guy, so it's projected to go north of 200 through the year. Uh, I don't know if we're going to see it go that far this year, but it's possible. There's seismic cracks, there's like huge cracks all through all of the different financial systems, and yeah, there's lots of crazy things happening. Sweaty fat guy, Tony, we can all ignore you and just hang out with us no, it's like you guys is fine. Like we know each other. Like we don't know each other. We've never met face to face, but we know each other. We've been hanging out online for years. But it's just weird. Okay, it's just freaking weird. I'm not really cut out for this job. I mean, it's just some people love it. I'm like go play. Oh, that's so and so. I hate it. You know what I mean? I hate it. I appreciate the recognition and all, but I don't. I'm just not. Oscar Gonzalez, thank you for the super chat, Oscar. Would you recommend an oil stabilizer for a high mileage engine that knocks upon startup? Crown Vic engine that burns oil but still passes smog. It no, I wouldn't bother. If it's knocking on startup, it means that you've got excessive clearances and the oil is just draining back. I mean, you could. It wouldn't hurt. Let's put it that way. It wouldn't hurt, but you're not really helping yourself. Thank you for the super chat. Rob Hayes, do you watch the crypto market? I'm in crypto, but I'm not in crypto I'm in crypto as a speculative investment. You watch it, I go, dum, 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 dum. I bought into crypto, I guess about 2 years ago now, and killer ride up. It was awesome, and I was like, So the way I see crypto is it's a killer speculative investment, and I do believe that crypto is going to take a moonshot, and I mean a hardcore, serious moonshot following the metals. Okay, but then I also believe that there's going to be a massive rug pull with crypto. I think that crypto is a game. I think crypto is a game to suck in to take some of the not that the concept of a cryptocurrency is a scam, but the crypto market as a whole, I think, is a scam, and I think it's a way to distract common investors away from metals because metals are what the banks are afraid of. It's a way to keep the general public's eye away from the metals, but I also think that once it does rocket, it's going to be a rug pull. Something's going to happen. There'll be some sort of like a meltdown of whatever is system, a bug. So yeah, I'm in it, but I don't have any faith in it. Well, let's put it this way: I wouldn't invest a penny in crypto that you weren't willing to lose. It's that simple. Crypto is not an investment. That type of investment. Oh my God, my glasses reflection. I got to bend my glasses a little bit. Bend the glasses. There we go. Okay, reflection done. Thunderbird 68. Do Mopars have different exhaust and intake valve stem heights? How much is normal to see? No. If you're talking about like Mopar wedges, big and small block, they each have the same intake exhaust valve height. How much is normal to see? I'm talking 50 thousandths, 40 thousandths max. Typically less than 10. And you got to remember, a lot of that is going to be from the face, and it's the thickness of the face that's really going to make the difference in height. If you measure from the back of the stem if you measure from the back of the face to the stem, or from the seat to the stem, that's usually really consistent, like within 2 or 3 thousandths of an inch. But when you measure from this, overall height, total height, now you're including not the part that would sit in the cylinder head, then yeah, you can see 40, 50 thousandths of an inch. Let's see. Ego Death, please. Good luck getting through, say, LAX with 100,000 in silver. 100,000 in silver isn't really that well. Yeah, it's one you want to carry for sure. So in that case, you switch it for gold. It's that simple. 20 ounces of gold gets you $100,000. Let's see. Butch Dix, off topic, you still have Bottle Rocket? Yes. Yes, she's just sitting there. I still have Bottle Rocket, I still have Slaghammer, I still have Mission Improbable. I haven't done anything with them. This year was bad. This last year, we didn't get to the track at all. We had health issues here in the family, and it kept me close to home. I wasn't able to go anywhere. So those cars, all of our project cars, just sat. Let's see. Okay, you guys are talking about a tune? Which one is the red Cherokee? That's Mission Improbable. Let's see. Wayne, California jams you for sales tax on metals unless you keep your purchases between $2,000 and $10,000. You have to buy from dealers who don't play those games. You know what I mean? It's cash and carry. Okay, you guys are talking about camshaft and a tune. I don't know what you're talking about. I'd have to scroll back up. All right. Oscar Gonzalez, when the weather warms up, you'll be drinking cold tang. I have my cold orange juice here now. I switched from Tang to orange juice. Let's see. Billy, Bottle Rocket is my favorite. Do you still have the tow truck and the yellow van? I do have the tow truck, but she's been sitting for like 2 years. She's a mess. She's on the side of the shop. And the yellow van is gone. I sold that when I moved out of the last shop 2 years ago. Well, a little bit over 2 years ago. I've been in this shop that I'm in now for 2 full years now. Time flies, man. Oh. Mexican spec. Do I have any Tang left? I do, man, but it's all of those weird flavors, like pina colada. It's all flavors that I tasted and were like, this is just not good. Oh, Gen 3 Hemi Cam. I don't know anything about those. I mean, I know enough. I know like layman. Like I'm not an expert on those engines at all. One car garage. How would you store a fresh adult motor if it was going to sit around for 3 or 4 years? I'm in a weird spot in my build where I can afford the motor, but it will be years before I can finish. Wrap it in a bag, man. Wrap it in a bag. I mean, assemble it with assembly loop, right? Make sure you've got good. You're using a quality assembly loop. Something's going to stick in place. Excuse me, on the rods and the mains and all of that. Light oil on the cylinder walls, like WD-40 or PB Blaster or something like that. And then, or actually, what you could do is wipe them down with ATF. wipe the cylinder walls down with ATF. And it may smoke a little bit on your first startup, but you're not going to care. So yeah, good assembly lube, ATF on the cylinder walls, and then wrap it in a bag and seal it, and it'll sit there for 100 years and it'll be fine. Um, did I see FUBAR in here? I think I saw FUBAR and I was answering a question. I don't see. Okay. Well, he's always here in spirit anyway. Um, Sweaty fat guy. Heating and cooling cycles will eventually stick a fresh engine and hasn't been started. Yes, I know. Not if you've got that thing sealed in a plastic bag. If you've got everything coated with like a light oil and the thing is sealed in a bag, no. That the heating and cooling is going to do it, but just the condensation, the normal water in the air will eventually surface rust things. Oh, Fubar is here. Okay. Welcome, Fubar. I'm sorry I didn't see you come in, but I thought I saw your name, but I was trying to read another question, and then I think a super chat came up. Let's see. Real DJ Evo. Like, comment, and subscribe. Well, yes, thank you. Actually, the likes do help. Any type of interaction, like likes, dislikes, doesn't make any difference. The YouTube counts it the same. It helps the channel. So if you can hit the like or even a dislike, whatever, you can hate my guts. Just go. I hate you. It's okay. YouTube recognizes it as an interaction, and it helps the channel. She came in. So dollar stronger now as silver dropped. The dollar is stronger within the basket of currencies that it's weighted against, the dollar index, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's stronger against other assets. It keeps getting weaker. The whole basket of fiat currencies keeps getting weaker. The thing with silver was literally an attack. It was an attack. There's a lot to it. Now I was expecting a normal pullback. That wasn't a normal pullback. And look into it a little bit. You'll find some pretty interesting information that's been coming to light as far as JP Morgan and their moves during that down, the attack on Friday. I've been expecting a pullback to about that range and hopefully just a little bit lower, because that would fill gaps and it would create a nice launch pad for the next step up. So, but no, nothing has changed. Like, nothing in the world has changed. The dollar is still worth less. They're still printing more. The debt is still where it is. Other countries still want to get away from the dollar. So nothing has changed from Friday morning, except a lot of manipulation in the paper market. Brandon Krepow. I'm sorry, Brandon. Just Brandon. Antonio, I'm 28 and currently a GM Master Tech. What skills should I learn to allow me to prosper in the incoming economic collapse? My current trade is going to be very hard with unfixable cars. Yes, and see, you're on the front line of this stuff, so you know better than anybody what's going on there. Your general skills as a mechanic are going to follow you through. They're going to get you through. I wouldn't count on a job. I wouldn't count on a job, but to start networking yourself through your neighborhood, through your friends, like start hitting the Waffle House. I'm using that as an example. Like around here, we have Waffle House everywhere, right? Start hitting your local like hangouts. Not bars and stuff like that, but people. We're just regular people on a regular basis. Start hitting them on a regular, and everybody know, yeah, I'm a mechanic. You know what I mean? Buy a coffee every once in a while. I'm a mechanic. Let everybody you come across know that you're a mechanic, and then when the time comes, you just transition because everybody will know that you're a mechanic. And when they need their brakes or their headlight or their whatever it happens to be, you're the guy to call. Start laying a foundation out so that in your community, people know you as a mechanic. That's and you'll do fine. You'll do fine. Um, yeah, mobile mechanic. That's a big thing now. Mobile mechanics are a big thing now. It's not easy. Being a mobile mechanic is that's a very difficult deal. You've got to be to be a good mobile mechanic. You've got to be extremely efficient, both with your time and your tools, your equipment, and everything. Like you have to know going in. Like this, you you can't be guessing and like hunting around and oh gee, I forgot this wrench, right? When you're out in the field, you've got to be very organized both in your mind and in your tools and in order to be an efficient mobile mechanic. But that is a big thing right now, and it's getting bigger. Driveway of misfits. Any tradesman who's good at what they do will have more work than they can possibly handle once word gets out about them. That's true. That is true. Um, Oliver Lovekin. Tony, what do you think of the 1980s BMW E30s? Still worth getting into, or has a train left the station and it's a money pit? You know, I'm not a BMW guy. I've never been. My few BMW experiences over the years have always been what? There's a lot, what with BMWs. So I don't really have any expertise on that, but maybe somebody in the chat does. Oh my God, it's Dead Cougar Garage. I thought it was Dead Dodge Garage. Dead Cougar Garage. What's so true, Dead Cougar? Um, Steve C, where did you get the Superstock T-shirt last time? They're available online. Kathy picked those up. She got me a couple of the red ones and a couple of the black ones. But as I pointed out, when I was wearing that shirt, I am probably the only person on YouTube that can legitimately wear that shirt because I was a Superstock and Drag Illustrated staff shirt, and I was actually a writer for Superstock and Drag Illustrated. So yes, I have a lot of pride in that. Larry Smith, Uncle Tony, I don't know if you saw Drag Racing News, but IHR Buffalo Valley. Yes, I know. I just saw it. Um, yeah, I know. He was Gary Huddleston was the guy who owns the track. Gary was like, nope, it's over, it's done, it's on family land. We're not doing it. It's done, it's done, it's done. Right up to the. I was there for the last race, and I shot a video on the last race there, right? And he was like, nope, that's it. It's oh my God, cinnamon bananas. What are you showing me here? What am I looking at? It's just trading sideways.
Not trading.
It's not trading. Shanghai's not trading? Ooh, a glitch in the metals market, in the global metal market. That's weird.
Yeah.
Why would Shanghai not be trading?
Well, it says it's open, but it's not trading.
Yeah, I know it's open, but not trading.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, oh weirdness. What's the regular chart doing?
Nothing. It's like a blackout. It's Chinese blackout.
You mean the regular trading is
Regular trading is going on, but he's trying to watch this. China.
okay? But what's regular trading at?
I don't know.
Hang
You
on.
better check it. Check it on your phone. It's weirdness.
Okay, so we've got definite weirdness going on in the precious metals space. Nothing crazy here. Okay, we'll see. Okay, where were we? I'm so sorry. I got sidetracked. Ego Death Please. I don't understand how Tony can get so excited about an AMC 6 and not give Gen 3 Hemis a second look. I like underrated things. You see what I'm saying? I like things that are not expected to go fit. Listen, my history, okay? Go and look at the thumbnail. Go to look at the thumbnail. That's my history. My history is with like over the top, okay? But I went to the mountain. I climbed to the top of the mountain. And I got there and I was like, there's no fun to be had here. So I climbed back down the mountain to find out where the fun is. And the fun is in things like an inline six, AMC motor. That's where the fun is. And I'm not in this to be impressive. I'm not in this to make, to be anybody's hero or anything like that. I'm in this to have fun. Things that put a smile on my face. And for something to make me smile, it has to be common and cheap, and you don't expect it to do something. That's where the fun is. I take all my friends for rides now. Anytime somebody comes around, I brag on that thing. Come on, I take you for a ride, and they get in it, and I bang 3 gears with it, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's ridiculous!" And I brag on, yeah, that's a stone stock straight six. So yes, I get more smiles out of that than any Gen 3 Hemi could possibly give me. Okay, I'm just scrolling up here. Thunderbird, does a PCV system rob an engine of cool air? No, no, not at all. Um, Greg Sprung, if it has wheels and a motor, it's a money pit. Just like a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, pets, tis life, nothing's free. I have to disagree with you. I've built many on this channel. I've built many free things where, like, at the end of the day, I've sold, like, you do a project car and you end up selling. You buy things. I need a set of cylinder heads. So you go and you buy, everything the guy has laying around with the cylinder heads. You sell it all off. You make a profit on that. You get the heads free, actually some money in your pocket. And then you move on to the next piece and you do the same thing. I've built many free things. Brian Power, UTG, something you should check is a two-stroke bicycle kit. So a buddy of mine got clocked at 74 miles an hour with mostly stock parts and a Dremel tune. I know those kits because when I back during the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, 2008, 2009, I owned a coffee house. I had an art gallery and a coffee house, and there were a lot of people that were interested in motorized bicycles. It was right outside the college, so there were lots of people on bicycles. So I started selling motorized bicycles. So I was buying them for like $10, $20 out of garage sales and stuff. I bought those motors by the case. We'd assemble them and we would sell them out in front of the coffee house. So I sold a bunch of them, but I never really hot rodded one. I was just turning them over as part of the regular business. But I do know those kids very well. Um, Thunderbird, so you're asking about the PCV valve again. Isn't it just sending warm crankcase air back to the intake essentially? Yes, but the intake has its own temperature. And if the PCV is plumbed in, let's say right at the base of the carburetor where it usually is, that the fuel being pulled through the carburetor is cold. So any air that comes in there is going to automatically be chilled by the air. The fuel is being atomized through. No, don't. It's so insignificant in the bigger picture. It's not even something to consider. Um, Bobby Z, the question was, why does Tony like the AMC Inline 6 and not the new Hemi? The answer is too many computers controlling it. No, man, it's not even that, Mexican spec. I had my fill of Hemis, right? Hemis, I was surrounded by Hemis, the Hemis. I dealt in street Hemi parts, I street raced Hemi cars, and I ran fuel cars, all based on 426 Hemis. So for like a dozen years, 15 years, all I touched was Hemis. That was it. That was all I knew. So now that those days are behind me, they're really behind me, and I don't want to know anything about them. I'm done with that. I want simple, fun, easy stuff to work on. Does that make any sense? And the computer is only just part of it. Um, let's see. Uh, hey, Mark Sauvé, Hemis started giving Tony the Hemis. You can't imagine, okay? You just can't imagine. I'm you can't, okay? You can't. I have Hemi PTSD. Seriously, you just yeah. And there's never a smooth, happy experience with them. We had that thing. We had that with my friend Andy with the Hemi GTX. So it was just like what's going on at the dragster now. He brought the car. I was like, yeah, a couple of weeks, we'll be in and out. Simple, just get it set up, just get a tune up on it, right? And like a year later, a year and a half later, this thing is still sitting there. We ended up rebuilding the whole damn thing. It was just another typical Hemi experience. It worked out okay, finished it off. He was happy. The car drove out beautiful. But man, what a friggin' nightmare every inch of the way. And now we're having the same thing happening with the dragster. It's like, oh yeah, we'll get in here a month or so, we'll blow through it, boom, we'll have it running and going. And no, here we are. It's like 6 months later, and it's still it's just nothing going on. So every experience I have concerning a Hemi is always a freaking nightmare. Uh, the Bill House Show, Tony, what do you think of the Honda Shadow 1100 motorcycles? They're good bikes. They ride really nice. I like the shaft drive. Um, but those engines are fragile, like compared to this, like, so you're talking about in the world of like metric V twins, compared to the Kawasaki's and the Suzuki's, the Hondas are actually, they have like a weak bottom end. I've had a couple of them come through my world that in fact, I had one on this channel. I bought one on this channel, this going back about 3 years ago. Um, then I ended up flipping because the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, but it had a knock, and then the engine was completely apart because it had eaten itself alive. And then I had another guy come by the shop asking me if he had noises, 1100 Shadow, and he fired it up. I go outside, he fired it up, and it was duck 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 duck. And there was another one. There was another one that I had that I bought on the channel. I got it free, and I ended up throwing a rod on it. So give me a second now. Give me a second now. This is going back to the old shop about 4 years ago, and I bought this thing. It was a rat. It ran, but it was a rat. I mean, a real rat, and it was chucking a rod. So the Honda, I don't think the Hondas were as reliable as the big Hondas. The 750s, the 800s, they seem to be better, but the 1100s seem to be a little on the weak side. Um, Ego Death, please. I have 3 running Gen 3 Hemis, turnkey, starting cold. The old lady drives into work every day. Okay. I never said that the Gen 3 Hemis weren't reliable, just that I've had my fill of things that have the Hemi prefix to them, right? Um, Brandon, Tony, I also wanted to ask your opinion on the XR 1200 Sporty. Ooh. I know they're rare, but you think I could keep on riding long term? Yeah, absolutely. Those are cool bikes. My eyes are always open for a local one. When they do pop up, they're really expensive or they're hammered. Um, but that is something I want to add to my fleet. I just haven't found the right one yet. Wayne, love the CB 750. Doesn't everybody? The CB 750 is awesome. Somebody just did a video and I didn't see it. I didn't catch it, but evidently the first imported CB 750, which went over the block at Meekum. I just saw a thumbnail. I was just scrolling. I saw the thumbnail, but I didn't click on it because I had other things going on in my head. But I made a note to go back and look at that. Uh, Mike Batista, Chinese brand Shinrai clones Harley Davidson Evolution Reach when the 1200 mil looks oddly similar to the classic sports reference. I did a whole video on that. Did a whole video on that. Um, Carmudgeon, I've got an 83 XR 1200. There's an FB Marketplace in El Paso one, but it's stupid money. Watsonda, I saw a video on Horse tour in Europe. They're a very impressive factory. The factory in Spain, because that was amazing. I'm like, how have we never heard of this company? This is a huge company that builds engines and that get sold and stuff all around the world. How have we never heard of this company before? There's got to be like Mandela effect. Um, Paul Cavazzolo, what are your thoughts on the old NHRA modified eliminator class? So NHRA modified ended in 1982, and that was tragic. Honestly, that was tragic. But it continued on in IHRA until Billy Meyer took over in 1990. Oh God, when was it? Like 1990, 1991? I don't remember the year Billy Meyer took over. Oh, well, I know the year because I had the IHRA Pure Stock record, my Mustang, and at the end of 1987, and Billy Meyer bought it in 1988. So it lived on in IHRA for a few years after the NHRA. Modified was awesome. It was modified. His thing about modified is that it was a class. It was a class for masochists. You had to love pain, right? The nature of modified was pounds per cubic inch, and it was that was the class, a great class to watch, or eliminator. It's not class. It was eliminator to watch. Uh, you had very small engines, very high RPM, moderately weighted cars. This is where you had your 617 gears and 11,000 RPM launches and second gear pull by the tree. Oh, it was magic. It was awesome. But it was tragic when they let that go. Um, let's see. PG-13 and Bill Hound Show. Who will win, Blasphemy or Tommy's Falcon? I didn't know they were supposed to race. I put my money on the Falcon all day long. Not that Blasphemy isn't a fast car, right? But it's prone to everything that can go wrong with it at the worst possible time. So I'm going to say, even if nothing goes wrong, even if Blasphemy makes good clean passes, I still don't think it's going to match the Falcon. But the odds of it making a good clean pass are slim. Not saying anything bad about Finnegan, but that car just is cursed. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I put my money on the Falcon. When are they supposed to race? Let's see. Mo Parquet don't play. She's in the house. Hey, Uncle Tony got to drive my Hot Rod on the street. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, it was awesome as it gets. Now about to start working on the rear pinion seal. No, I hate doing pinion seals. But yeah, excellent, excellent. How did it run? Did you make a video of it running? Jim Grady, Yamaha Bolt 950 is a fun urban cruiser and can ride it off the showroom floor for less than 10,000. My buddy Brandon, right, who had this he's had tons of bikes, right? Uh, and he had a couple of Buells, and then he got out of motorcycles for a while, and he bought a Bolt, right? So this was I don't know, a couple of years ago, okay? So he bought this thing up in Nashville, it's like 25 miles from here. And he says, "Can you come me to pick it up?" I says, "Yeah, but I get to ride it home." He says, "Fine, okay." So we went up there, we bought the bike. I had never been on a Bolt before, and I rode it home. So here was my impression of that bike, and I no exaggeration, man. This is exactly how it went. Okay, I got on the bike, and the first couple of few miles, I was like, "Wow, this is really nice." The ergos were awesome. It's lighter than a Sportster. It's the same basic ergos as a Sportster, but it's lighter than a Sportster. Smooth engine, beautiful the way it rolls on. Okay, I was very impressed the first 5 miles. 10 miles. By about the 20th mile on that bike, I was like, this thing has no personality. There is nothing to bond to on this bike. This bike feels sterile. When I got off the bike at about 25 miles, right, we got to his place, and I was like, I don't like this. I just don't like it. So he was like, you're just being an asshole. I says, you'll see. So long story short, I don't see him for about a month, and he comes by my place, and he's riding a VMAX, and he was like, "You're absolutely right." The Bolt was just, there was nobody home. I ended up buying a VMAX. So that's my only experience with the Yamaha Bolt. Um, Let me see. I'm just scrolling back up here. Um, Punch O'Tucky, may I ask about headers for a 318 66 Barracuda? Of course you can, my brother. Um, and I'm just going to wait for your actual question. And scroll back through here. Mad Joe, Tony asked about a Holly 4160, but never got to finish the conversation. I mean, 4160 has a decent amount of up and down play, not just side to side play. I've read that you shouldn't be able to hear it. You you shouldn't be able to hear it, but here's the deal, right? Squirt some gas on it with the engine running, right? Put some gas in a squirt bottle and squirt around the outside, where the throttle blades are. If the idle picks up a notable amount, the shaft, the bushings or the shafts are worn to where it's no good. Okay, you've got to do something about it. If you spray some gas on there and you don't hear any change at all, or just a very slight change, you're probably okay. But that's how I would go about doing it. Um, Gail Clay, Uncle Tony, have you done anything on the dirt drag strip course? I am working on the Belvedere. It's actually first thing on my mind. The Belvedere is going to become a dirt car. That's no question. Not a dirt. I have a circle track dirt car. It's going to become an off-road dirt car. Okay, a dirt hot rod. So yes, that's on my list. In fact, I think we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I can't get last couple of days. I haven't get anywhere near the storage unit. It's a solid block of ice. You can't imagine how bad it is over there. So if it melts a little bit, I'll get over there and we'll do something with that. Um, I'm looking for the header question. Daniel Jennings, what does a Hemi Torque Flight have that's different from a non-Hemi 727? Extra clutch discs, 4-pinion planetary. I can't think off the top of my head. Just those two things. Uh, I'm I'm still looking for the header question from Pancho Tucky. I guess he left the chat. Uh, oh, okay. There you are, Pancho Tucky. Better than stock, or headers better than stock, better than the manifolds? Yes and no. 273 heads, 4-barrel, 55 gear. What fits? So here's the problem with your early A-body cars, right? 66 and back. Headers are an extremely tight fit, regular undercar headers. They are better than the exhaust manifolds. There's no question about it. But the the fit is a nightmare. It's as bad as the worst Fords, and that's because on those early A bodies, the frame rails are 2 inches closer to each other than they are in the later ones. So the room for the header, for the collector to, or the tubes to fit through is like almost non-existent. They're a nightmare unless you go with fender wall headers. Now, if you go to fender wall headers, then it's the exact opposite. It makes life really easy. It's wide open, but not many people want to cut up their inner fender wells these days to run fender wall headers. So I guess it just depends on what you're doing with the car. If it's just a regular 273 with 4-barrel 55, use go with the factory HP exhaust system on that, which was a 2 3/4 inch pipe. It was a single exhaust, and you trust me, it's all you need for that engine, right? And they sound great. They had a 2 3/4 inch Y pipe, 2 3/4 inch back to a giant resonator and a giant exhaust. Look up the 273 Commando exhaust system on that, and that's the one I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend going with a dual on that. A large single diameter exhaust is the way to go. That was the factory's answer to that car, and that's how I would do it. Um, Zero, what's happening, brother man? Welcome in. Helping your mom move today. You're a good son, Zero. Um, the Bill Hunt Show. Are cherry bombs good? I like them for like header mufflers. Okay. Um, like if I'm just gonna run, if I'm not gonna run a full exhaust, if I'm just gonna hang some headers off or some mufflers off a pair of headers, then cherry bombs are awesome. They're perfect. Okay. To use them in a full exhaust, like a permanent exhaust, They're very inefficient. Very inefficient. Uh, Bill McKeisker, thank you for the super chat. To follow up the header question, specifically on an A-body, what's your opinion on Magnum exhaust manifolds instead of LA Shorty headers? Will not fit. The outlet on the driver's side, passenger side will fit, but on the driver's side, the outlet for the Magnum exhaust manifold is literally in the steering column. Like it's not even like, oh, you can put a little dent in it or grind a little bit. It's literally in the middle of the steering column. It won't work. Tried it. I've tried it. Um, Ford CD Burlock, you hate the sound of cherry bombs. Where were you in the 70s, man? And Fubar just put up the link to my merch. Thank you so much, Fubar. So if you want our shirts, our hats, stickers, like, and whatever else in there, yes, that's where you find it. UncleTony'sGarage.com. Thank you, Fubar. Um, let's see. Firefly, been a long time since I ported stock headers. I was still young and put too big a cam in the engine and couldn't notice a change. You're not going to notice a change. Uh, you can. Here's the thing, right? You can port exhaust manifolds, and what they do these days, like in classes like in fast racing, where they're limited to using a cast iron exhaust manifold, they extrude hone them. So they run like an abrasive slurry through these things at like high speed, and it actually thins out the metal from the inside. You can increase flow, but there's no scavenging effect. That's the problem. You can move a lot of air through there, but there's no scavenging. And that's where the weak link of the exhaust manifold is. And the further you go with the cam, the more the scavenging, the more important scavenging becomes. Um, Dean Stevens is in the house. What's happening, brother man? Um, what's the best sounding Alcar? What's the best sounding loud mufflers for a V8 and headers? If you can find a set of the old school, I mean, like like old school purple hornies, those absolutely the best sounding out of any of the glass packs that were available back in the day. Probably the best sounding muffler of all time. Um, if you could find a set of the original ones, the old school ones. Um, Thunderbird, Tony, I air tested some 429 exhaust manifolds and it seemed like there was a tiny bit of scavenging. Okay, so here's what happens. With an exhaust manifold, you'll get group scavenging. Okay, so in other words, and it's not really going to come through the exhaust manifold, it's going to come through the downpipe. So now what you're going to have is you're going to have all four cylinders emptying into this pipe, into the one tube. And so you'll get group scavenging, but that doesn't help the individual cylinders. You don't get the time scavenging that each cylinder needs to optimize its charge. See, that's the downfall of exhaust manifolds. You're going to get scavenging through the exhaust, but it's not individual. It's not what each cylinder needs. It's just group batch. Does that make any sense? It's not as strong a signal. It's not a personalized signal to each individual cylinder. That's why long tube headers are the way to make power. Short tube headers, okay. Exhaust manifolds, just think of them as flow. But porting them, you're not going to increase scavenging by porting. Um, Mopar Man, turbo mufflers are a joke and don't flow very well. It doesn't matter the brand, Thrush, etc. Well, the turbo mufflers in there, they did, right? But obviously, exhaust science, muffler science has come a long way since the turbo mufflers were introduced. They were better than the typical muffler back in the day. Um, but yeah, as far as today goes, it's, turbo running turbo mufflers is like look at my double hump heads. You know what I mean? It's like it's archaic, but they are better than the standard muffler of the day. Um, let's see. I'm just scrolling back up here. Danny Boyd. I have a 240 in my truck, but I hate the sound of split manifolds and split headers on a straight six. Yeah, yes. Log exhaust manifold makes a much smoother sound. Well, I mean, you could go from those split manifolds into a Y pipe and run a big diameter single at the back. That's your best overall exhaust. That's the best sounding exhaust for the inline six. Um, you guys talk about David Bizarre. I'm just scrolling back up here now. Kay, this is sketchy even by my standards. We sold a bunch of those, Kay. That's a good shirt for you. Um, Robert Trio. I saw Engine Masters test some, and the turbo shined in a certain combination where Freiberger was even surprised. See, combination has a lot to do with it. Combination has a lot to do with it, and also distance out as far as muffler goes. How far out you put the muffler has an effect on its performance, its characteristics, and its performance. Um, 72 Z28. What shirt is Tony wearing? Probably an internal combustion shirt because I got like thousands of them. So like when I need a shirt, I just rip open a package. I don't know which one am I wearing. Um, Oscar Gonzalez. I saw a show about border collies being trained to herd sheep and cows. That's what they're bred for. That's what they're bred for. Lots of training and commands involved. Yeah, no, that's literally that's where the breed comes from is for herding sheep and cows and pigs and ducks and anything that they can herd. Um, Buddy Corfano, Tony, do you like a loud exhaust on Harleys or leaf stock? I like them both. I like them both. I have one that's quiet. My 883R has got this relatively quiet single, 2-into-1, and it's a joy to ride, man. It just purrs along. It's very cool. And then like I have my little hot rod that's got like just just the downpipes. You know what I mean? It's got just the downpipes and the crossover. That's loud. That's as loud and obnoxious as they get, and I love that too. So it just depends what mood I'm in. That's why you have to have more than one bike. Um, Border Collies are awesome. We've got another one on the way. We've got another one on the way. Lacey May. She'll be here in about 4 weeks. Um, I'm just rolling up here. All car. Hey Tony, were the Hornies made by Flowtech? They are today. They are today. But no, they were made by Cyclone back in the day. Ah, thank you, Mofar K. She's beautiful. She's just a little handful of nothing right now, but she's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Winnie and Molly do know the puppy is coming. We took a towel, a small towel, and we wrapped the puppy in it to get the puppy scent on it. So when we came home, they smelled her, and Winnie especially got all excited. Molly didn't really care so much, but Winnie was like, "Oh, yes, puppy, a puppy, puppy." So yeah. Uh, Kevin Smith, you miss your border collie, Tara. She was very smart. Yeah, I'm sorry you lost her. Border collies are different, man. They're different than any other dog. They really, honestly, they should be in their own species. It's like they're not even dogs. It's like you need another. You need there's dogs and then there's border collies. They really need their own special classification. And I never realized that until now. I'm surrounded by border collies, and I see the difference between them. And I love all dogs. Don't get me wrong. I'm a dog person, a dog freak. But uh, once you start living with border collies, it's hard to live without them. Um, Bill Hanshaw, Tony, have you ever seen a Honda V65 Magna? I certainly have. I've worked on them and I've ridden them. When I was in New York, I did a lot of bike work. When I got out of nitro racing, I got just very involved in all the local motorcycle stuff. So I was working on bikes. I set up a little shop in my house. So I was working on bikes, had bikes everywhere. I had 28 of my own, and I was working on everything in the area. So at that period of time, for a few years before I moved to Tennessee, by the time I quit nitro racing to the time I moved to Tennessee, I was 100% motorcycles all the time. I had no involvement with cars at all. Everything was on two wheels. So during that period of time, I got to experience like everything. And yeah, I know the V65 Magnum. Um, Thunderbird, you even like Chihuahuas? Yes. Yeah, I love all dogs. I love all dogs. I've said it a bunch of times. At some point, when I feel that this whole thing has run its course, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done, right? I'm opening a dog rescue. That's my long-term goal. The money that I'm saving now, or whatever I'm stacking, whatever I'm making now, and I'm putting aside, is all towards eventually doing a dog rescue. That's my goal. Well, Parquet, you see a future video of puppy in hand. Yep, yep, yep. I did it with the other two. Um, let's see. So you wrote a V65 Magna. What was that like? I mean, it doesn't register as anything that was very memorable, other than it sounded really good. It had that same NASCAR kind of sound that a VMAX does, but nowhere near the punch or the personality. War Ghost, hey Tony, what's the closest metric V twin to the sports that you could ride every day to work? Has to be highway capable. Okay, so I've had many metric cruises over the years, and out of all of them, like what was the most comfortable on the highway, the most highway happy? I had an 1100 Virago. Probably a year. Well, I had it around 2010. It was probably about 10 years old at the time. So I don't know the generations, but it was an 1100 Virago. And I remember that thing being exceptionally happy at like 70 miles an hour. That was like its happy zone. Shaft drive bike. Um, that's where the motor was in its happy zone. The ergos were good for highway riding. Um, Not the best. It's hard to find a cruiser that has really good ergos. Uh, well, okay, it depends, right? I prefer my feet underneath me, right? Most of the cruises have a feet forward position, and that was a feet forward position too. I don't particularly like that. A lot of people do. They put highway pegs on their bike so they can put their feet out like this, and I find it to be very uncomfortable. Um, but as far as all the metric cruises I can think of that I've had over the years, I would say try to find an 1100 Baroque. Um, I'm scrolling back up here. I'm just scrolling up. The frog feeder. Sometimes I want to get a new pup. Then I look at the hole my current knucklehead put in my bedroom door last year, and I'm good. I know, man. I know. We were just talking about that. It's like the teething phase, man. That's freaking brutal. It's brutal. Yeah, I know, I know. But you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Let's see. Okay, you like the 1100 Virago also? You know that it's a 70-degree V twin too. The It has a good personality. The Yamaha 70-degree V has a really nice personality. It's not quite Ducati. It's close. The sound and response is close to Ducati. I know it's hard to reconcile that. Okay, but if you ride a Ducati Monster and you get on like an 1100 Virago, they're very similar in terms of their personality. The motor's personality goes, um, and they sound a lot. I'm scrolling up here. Dean Stevenson. Cats are driving to insanity by judgmental humanoid. Owners who are deranged and psychotic from practical experience. Who would be deranged and psychotic in your world, Dean Stevenson? Uh, Good night, Tumbleweed 77. Thanks for coming by. Um, no, hey, Uncle Tom, do you like any of the Indian motorcycles? I have not ridden any of them. They're beautiful, but I have not ridden one, so I can't pass judgment on it that way. Visually, yeah, they're beautiful in general, right? The line, right? The Indian line is nice. Uh, Thunderbird 68. Tony, have you seen a head gasket firing slightly overhang the combustion chamber, but not the cylinder? Is a little okay when it comes to the chamber. Oh, overhang the combustion chamber. Not how can that happen? Have you seen a head gasket firing slightly overhang the combustion chamber, but not the cylinder? No, okay, well, I'm not really. I'm trying to picture that relationship. How it could overhang the cylinder head, but not the but at any rate, the firing should never be exposed to the combustion chamber. The firing has got to be sandwiched. You can't have any of it exposed. It will burn, no question about it. Um, Jeff Hutchins has seen ice cream tacos. The Choco Taco. Yes. I was hooked on those for a little while. Well, Parquet, I want an Indian bike if I ever want a bike, but that's a big bike to ride. My father-in-law had many. We're talking about the newer Indians, Kay, not the old ones, like the old Indian chiefs and all of that. No, some of the modern day Indians, which is still pretty big, but um, Thunderbirds. Case in point, a little too much chamber porting. Me, I would not leave any of the firing exposed to the chamber. It's doomed to failure. There's no question about it. It's doomed to failure. Well, Parquet is asking, hey, Uncle Tony, do you happen to know Kuda Bill with Motorhead Men? Not offhand. I know so many people by face, but I can't say that I know them by name. Uh, well, Parquet, bikes can be scary to a 5'3" girl. There's a lot. They make a lot of bikes that are specifically for people your height. Um, and, lightweight bikes. There's so many different. There's so many different options that are specifically designed for people of smaller stature. Shannon said, "Hey, Monty, 267 watching, only 160 likes. Oh my God, that's it. Oh, we need some likes, guys. We got it because that it helps the channel. The YouTube, the algorithm. It says yes, people are reacting and interacting with this channel, so we'll send it out some more. So yeah, if you can hit the like or the dislike. They don't care if you like me or you hate me as long as you're interacting with the channel. So yes, thank you. Um, Yeah, Mexican spec, the Honda Rebel, either the old Rebels or even the new generation Rebels. They make what is it, the 300, which is a really nice little bike. You got to remember, right? Bikes that are built for the Asian markets, 5'3", you're small by Western standards, right? But the average male in places like Thailand, Vietnam, and even like China is only like 5'6" or 5'7". So most of your Asian imports, they have a line of what we think of as really small bikes, but they're the mid-sized bikes out there. So there's a lot of choices out there. Stylish greaser. Hey Tony, I wanted to say you're a legend. Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing so much knowledge on auto bodies. You saved me hours of my life with your videos. Well, thank you, Stylish greaser. I appreciate that. Um, Thank you. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, sharing the knowledge. Sean the person, when did the British stop using Whitworth on bikes, cars? 70. I think Triumph was still using the Whitworth right up until like 73 or 74. I have a set of Whitworth wrenches. I haven't used them on anything in decades. Um, but yeah, I think they were using that until like 73, maybe 74. I could be wrong. I know that that Whitworth stuck around past the Zener diode. Like the Zener diode was a thing of the past, but Whitworth was still a deal. Um, Kevin Smith, has anyone ever gotten to the end of the internet? You're here. This is it. This is boom. It's dead end. That's it. How do you like it so far? Danny Boyd is saying he never turned to Whitworth. All of your British cars and bikes, mostly bikes. Cars, they went from Whitworth to metric sometime in the 60s. But all of the brick machinery was Whitworth, which is a size that works between standard and metric. Most Whitworth, like here's the unusual thing with Whitworth. Whitworth is like when you go standard and metric, there are certain sizes that just line up automatically, like they're exact. Um, 8 millimeter and 5/16, right? 11 millimeter and 7/16. And you have ones that have very small differences, like 14 millimeter, 9/16, so like 1,000th of an inch difference. So there are like some sizes that through the metric and standard lines overlap, but nothing overlaps with Whitworth. It is just everything is Whitworth is by itself, and no other wrench will work on it. Marco Thustwaldner, always a pleasure to join all you fine people. Hopefully, I don't miss Wednesday. Thanks and good night. Stay strong. Good night, Marco, and thank you. Um, Mike shot fishing. Tony, if there was an EMP that knocked out electricity, would it bother anything on an old carbureted car? Okay, if it's a points ignition system, no. The motor right on through, right? No problem. Some electronic ignition systems might be affected. Like if you're prepping for end of the world type of stuff, and like EMPs or solar flares, that sort of thing, a Carrington event, then count on points. Points are always going to get you through. Um, if it's an electronic ignition like an HEI or Chrysler or a Doris Park Ford or something like that, the simpler, older electronic ignitions, pick up a spare and throw it in a Faraday cage or an old microwave oven. It'll work the same way. But if it's like a points carburetor setup, no, zero. It wouldn't even stall the engine. Um, Scotty Kilmer, what's going on with Scotty? Scotty Kilmer did not die. He posted he dies every month. Okay, I'm just rolling a cigarette, guys. As 20, Scotty Kilmer finally died for real. I don't believe that. That would have been pretty big news. That would have been pretty big news if he did. Uh, Michael J. Philo, Tony, you are a legend. Oh, thank you, man. And then again, I think Darla is a legend. Darla is a legend. Talking about old. Darla's got to be 16, right? We've had her for like 11 years now, and we got when she was supposed to be 5 when we got her. So she's up there. She is a legend. Don't 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 tell me Scotty's dead. Would somebody please check and see if Scotty is dead? Oh, Bill, I'm sorry, I missed your super chat. Um, I'm trying to get this. Thank you for the super chat, Bill. Nowadays, the best, quickest, and easiest mod to any vehicle is a cold air intake. Okay. Was that true back in the day as far as throwing on a big air cleaner or just understanding how to tune a carburetor and ignition systems? Cold air has always been a way to make power. It's just the most basic thing. The colder the air, the denser the air, the more oxygen molecules in it. So cold air has always been at the top of the list. These days, though, okay, um, you've got air intake temperature sensors, which kind of balance out a little bit. So in the name of keeping emissions even, right? The air inlet temperature sensor kind of offsets things to compensate for the extra oxygen that's in the cooler charge. So in order to have a cold air kit actually be effective, there may need to be a tune done to the system. And I can't tell you that for certain. I'm not Dr. Art. I don't tune late model cars, but I would think that on any conventional induction system like carburetor, yes, always cold air is always better. But on a fuel injected car, you might have to adding a cold air kit may be one thing, but then you may have to recalibrate based on the air inlet temperature sensor. If anybody knows more about that than I do, throw your 2 cents in. Um, okay, Wikipedia says Scotty's still alive. Okay, cool. Scotty Kilmer has his own Wikipedia page, and I don't. Oh, now I feel bad about this. Okay, scrolling. He hasn't posted in over 2 weeks. Maybe he's taking a little time off. January is a terrible month for YouTube. Just so you guys know, right? Our pay takes this huge dive in January. We make all kinds of money in December. Oh, it's awesome. Okay. And then January comes and the bottom falls out. So it's a good possibility. He said, I'm just gonna sit this one out. Which a lot of times is not a bad idea. If you're a YouTuber, January rolls around, it's like just, just coast through because it's going to be disappointing no matter what. So he may just be taking a couple of weeks off. I got to check the metals market. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, where do we got here? Just sideways trading. Gold's at $44,726, down $22.83. And silver is up $6.22 to 82.24. So nothing of any consequence at the moment. I'm hoping for a big sell-off in the morning. I'm hoping for a big sell-off in the morning. I'd like to buy some more. Well, Parquet, I noticed that January was the worst month so far. This last, I don't have the final numbers yet, but this last January is, I think, our worst month in like 5 years. So December was our best month ever. Okay. And so far this January is, I believe, the worst month we've had in 5 freaking years. So yeah, it's rough. But that's all part of it. That's just part of the game. That's just what you do. Paul Shea. Why is that, Tony? YouTube does worse in January versus December. Advertising revenue. So the advertising revenue, starts going higher in October. So October starts to build a little bit. November builds a little more, and then December it's crazy high, right? Because so many companies take ads. Now in January, the holiday season is over, and fewer companies are placing ads, and so the rates come down. So that's just the way it is. So now it's going to be January is bad, February is bad. February is the worst month to be a YouTuber because there's only 28 days in the month, so you're not get paid for 31 days, or 30 days or 31 days. 28 days in the month, and it has the same low CPM RPM that January does. So February is like February as a YouTuber is a really rough month. But then March starts to pick up a little. March gets better, April gets better, and then May and June into July you get high CPM, and then July it drops again. So it's like you're always riding this wave, you know. Let's see. Mike's out fishing. Tony, I'm hoping for housing crash. Ready to buy a home, but people are asking way too much for crap holes. Well, here's the thing: you're absolutely going to get a housing crash, but that housing crash is going to come with a banking crisis. Okay, the housing crash is going to happen because there isn't going to be any money available. So, and you're going to get that soon. I mean, like sooner than you think. But you got to be prepared for it. You can't count on borrowing any money. And it has nothing to do with your own ability to pay back or your credit or anything like that. There are structural institutional problems that are going to cause the credit system to just lock up, and it's going to happen sooner than you think. Shift and Fix It Garage. Shift and Fix Garage. I finally hit 1,000 subs on my channel and I'm looking forward to being monetized. Congratulations. Not expecting crazy money, but maybe I can pay for an oil change or two. Dude, yes, let's shoot for the moon. Always shoot for the moon, okay? You reach for the stars, you never come up with a handful of dirt. So yeah, and if you cleared 1,000 subs, you are already part of like a YouTube elite. There are millions and millions of channels out there, and relatively few have hit that milestone. So congratulations. I think that's really awesome. Everybody, Shift and Fix Garage, go over there and check him out, give him a sub, and give him some hours towards that monetization. Um, let's see. I'm just scrolling up here. This just in. Scotty Kilmer is still not dead. Remember that? What was that? Was it Chevy Chase? That was Saturday Night Live, and it was oh god, so long ago. It was General Francisco Isimo Franco, right? The Spanish guy is not. I don't know. Somebody as old as I am is going to remember that. What was it? Yeah, Francisco Franco. That was it. Short person, Tony, do you have any experience with rebuilding press competition plus shifters, especially the older ones where the stick doesn't unbolt? Oh, you mean the one that you use field gauge to pull the stick out of? I mean, actually rebuilding the shifter body, I can't say I've ever done it. I can't say I've ever. I know they sell rebuild kits with fresh bushings and all of that, but I've never done it. I've just bought new shifters or had when I was big into 4-speed cars, man. I always had a selection of shifters. I don't believe I ever actually rebuilt one. War Ghost, Tony, I'm so mad. I had to sell almost 3 ounces of gold in early December to pay for a rebuilt 3D truck. No, and another 3,000 in other car repairs. Oh, dude, hold on to that with iron fists. Yeah, no, just no. You don't ever sell gold. You don't sell it. Don't sell it. There's going to be a time, but we're nowhere near it yet. Um, Dean Simpson, did you guys know that the diametrically opposed antipodine transfer of Leven in Lower Hutt, New Zealand is in Madrid, Spain? Yeah. Who doesn't know that, bro? Come on. The holes. Uncle Tony, speaking of not being dead yet, I'm in hospital in Melbourne as we speak. Oh no, what happened? I've got some prostate drama. Tell the viewers who will be blokes to get a prostate check if you're over 50. I I I guess. I mean, well, I hope everything works out for you, brother. I honestly know very little about the subject. I should probably know more, but I don't. Um, let's see. Thunderbird, anyone here ever tried gold panning? I got a couple of flakes. The water smelled funny. Then eventually I realized I was like 100 feet downstream from a sewer discharge. Probably picked up some edible gold. Um, my landlord over at the storage units, Ty, leased some land just to do that. And they would go out every once in a while and go panning for gold. And he got some out of it, but I don't know how much. I don't know if it actually worked out for him or not. But yeah. Um, let's see. Airbag connectors have gold. So I've heard, yes. I'm just scrolling back up here. Harry Lister saying you can find gold almost anywhere, but quartz formation is the best. I would love to do that. It's my problem is getting away from ground zero here. It's hard for me to be away from the house. I got so many things that go on right here, and I don't have any place to go prospecting for gold in this general region. But that's something I would really love to try at some point. Um, Thunderbird is saying gold painting is actually pretty fun, relaxing way to get Ebola. Um, uh, Hans Social, I quit smoking for 5 minutes today. Dude, I haven't smoked in, oh God, probably about going on 2 minutes, not 3 minutes. Hmm. Yeah, quitting is tough. Danny Boyd has not had a drink since December 14th. Congratulations, Danny Boyd. Uh, Joe Culver, where are all the young bloods from Mopar Education? They're over at Jamie's channel, Dead Dodge Garage. He's the young blood that's got the Mopar thing down. I'm going to get back to doing some Mopar stuff soon, very soon. But I think I just needed to get away from it for a while for myself, you know. But I do have a lot of Mopar stuff like in line. I've got a 440 build that we've got. I got a stroker that I've been talking about for the longest time. I've got the parts here at the house. Just haven't done anything with it yet. The Belvedere is going to become a dirt hot rod, an off-road hot rod. So we're going to do some dirt drag racing with that. Um, so we're going to get back to some Mopar stuff. I just needed to get away for just a little while. Uh, Kevin Smith, UTG put me in his will. Whatever will I do with all his money? Unless you're a dog, you're not getting any of it. 100% of everything I accumulate is going for dogs. I told you my goal eventually is to do a dog rescue, and that's what any material things that I'm building up at this point. That's what it's for. Um, Mexican spec. Are you jacking up the torsion bars on the Belvedere? I'm gonna space the K frame. I'm gonna space the K frame probably about an inch. Cop Car Steve, Reverend Tony. I'm happy to report I just bought myself a police Crime Victoria 2011. I look forward to making a State of the Fleet video soon. Excellent. Good choice. War Ghost. I'm the C-body young guy. I want to make a video acting like a salesman in like 1978, a used car lot showing off my 60s. That could be cute. 66 Newport, 67 Fury, and a New Yorker, and a 68 Newport, as if the cameraman is a buyer. That could be cool. That could be cool. Paul Shea, you're checking out. Have a great one, brother, man. And thank you for coming by. Shift to fix garage. Is it a bad idea to run a transmission hose directly out of the trans to the oil cooler and back? The original metal lines were kinked. I'm filming a Pontiac Revival video soon and need to solve that. Okay, is it a bad idea to run transmission hose? Yes. Do it with hardline. Do it with hardline. Hose for small connection purposes is okay, but transmission fluid is hell on rubber. It's going to deteriorate depending on the rubber. Some of it will just flake apart. Some of it will swell. It just depends on the composition of the rubber. But rubber and transmission fluid, rubber hose and transmission fluid do not get along with each other. I would run it for small. I would run small sections, but other than that, I would use hardline. Just go to an auto parts store, pick up some 3/8 hardline, and plumb it in there. Swamp Rat. That's my brother, Normal James. Good evening, dear brother. I'm late to the show tonight. Yes, you are, but you made it anyway, man. Still waiting for you to come to Tennessee. Normal James is my brother up there in the People's Republic of New Jersey. Why he's still there, I have no idea. Spark 1994. I'm going to buy silver on the dip. I hope there's a good chance we get more of a dip tomorrow. I bought on Friday. I locked in above the low. But what are you going to do, right? But still, I got a good discount. With any luck, tomorrow morning, I want to see it in the 60s. I don't think, and I said it in that video that I made like last week. I would expect to see a pullback to around in the 60s. So with any luck, we see that over the next day or two. It may not. It may just reverse and go right back up again. But basing on gaps that it has to fill going back a couple of months now, I'd like to see it come back down into the 60s, and there's a good chance we get that this week. And if we do, buy it then, because you're not going to get that chance again. Thunderbird, is Swamp Rat your literal brother? Yes, my younger brother, James. And his nickname, I was a little, let's say I was a little nutty growing up. Okay, I was a little okay, and James was like more normal, and his nickname was, I didn't name him that. His nickname was Normal James, because compared to me, he was normal. Sleeper red eye. Dang, Tony, look at sharp wrenching on that motor. That was 1990. That was. So that was 36 years ago. How's Kiwi's vagina? I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I know it must have been giving him some problems. Cigarette, gas bottle, wrench, nothing's changed. It hasn't, except I'm a lot more normal now. You know what I mean? Like I was, if you go back to the days that picture was taken, I was gone. Okay, I mean, I can see that now. I can admit it now. Uh, I was seriously out there. Okay, but yeah, yeah. But other than like the reduction of insanity, yes, nothing has changed. Uh, GPS specialist. Doing engine rebuild on my 66 Carnet 500 convertible four-speed. Nice car. I need 30 over pistons using my 915 heads. Where should I look? Everything is way low compression. Well, you didn't say what engine it is. Um, you didn't say what engine it is, but I mean, if it's a 361, you're not going to find anything except stock low compression pistons. Um, Yes, the three. So I'm assuming you're building a 361 because there's no pistons available for a 361, other than replacement stock low compression pistons. If you've got an old part, at this point, get yourself a 383 block. Swap everything into a 383 block. There's every kind of piston you can imagine is available for the 383, but none's available for the 361 unless you're going to go for big bucks, for custom pistons. Um, Matt Quirio, thank you for the super chat. What, Matt? Do you are you a YouTuber, Matt? Because I think I've been watching some of your videos lately, Matt. I could be wrong, but the name looks really familiar. I think I've watched a few of your videos over the last week or two. But Wall Street Railroad is a badass article. Thank you, I appreciate that. You all borrowed a guy's wife's. Yeah, that was a publisher's wife. Um, Mark 7 LSC and did early morning burnouts in front of the Twin Towers. That was taken on. So I did that burnout on the corner of Broad Street. Okay, I was on Wall Street. The back of the car was facing Broadway, and it was Cliff Gromer who took that picture. He was laying down in the street, and this was during the morning rush hour. So there were people all over the place, like walking to work and stuff like that. And we just unleashed the burnout there. That's one of the that's one of my favorite pictures of all time. Uh, oh, so Matt, yes, okay, it is you. Yes, okay, yes, I recommend Matt Quirio. So Matt, tell people about your channel and tell them what you do and get them over to your channel so they can check out your videos. Joker is saying Matt Quirio's videos are awesome. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, guys, one of the mods, put up a link, please. Oh, there you go. Mexican Specs got it. Put up a link to Matt's channel. Um, so yes, I've enjoyed your videos, man. GPS specialist. Sorry, my Carnet has a 383 4-barrel engine, and you can't find high compression pistons for it. You should be able to get replacement the 10-to-1 pistons. Um, geez, I mean, I just. Oh no, actually, I'm going to say I just, but I didn't. This was several years ago. But I bought a set of 30 over 10-to-1 hybrids for 383 in the recent past. You should be able to find pistons for that. Yes, Fubar also put up the link. Thank you. Um, Thunderbird, Tony, was the Iron Triangle in New York a popular hot rod hangout back in the day? Dude, I can't say I ever heard of it. Well, off the top of my head, I don't even know where that would be. I mean, it might have been a thing that was way before my time. Uh, Rocco, Tony, can we get a video short of Neil Van Opie emerging to see his shadow tomorrow? You can't get him to do anything. I've tried. I've tried. Oh, neutral drop, that iron triangle. Okay. Yeah, no, not that I'm aware of. There's so many little areas like that all in New York, but it's not something I ever heard of. Probably drove through it 1,000 times, but never knew it had a specific name. Um, why hasn't Neutral Drop made a video? I don't know. I'm just scrolling up here. War Ghost. Hey Tony, what's the rough compression? Is the KB 240 pistons for 400? I don't know. I don't know. You should be able to find that information on their website. I'm just scrolling up here. Yeah, Matt Quiria. Definitely check out his channel. Check out his channel. This is a good question, Uncut Chode. Tony, how do you think the first brand's bankruptcy will affect vintage car repairs? Not just vintage car repairs, all car repairs. I don't know. I don't know. In theory, it could be really, really bad, but I don't know. So if you guys don't know, the first brand is like all of the mainstream A1 Cardone and uh, the normal auto parts store parts stuff that's on the shelf. First Brand has huge sections of the aftermarket auto parts industry, and they're bankrupt. But I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know how that's going to work out. Um, Sleeper Red Eye, do you still have the Dart? Haven't seen it in forever. The only Dart I still have left is Mrs. Landy, in a 64, and she's sitting on the side of the shop. I haven't touched it in years. I get rid of all the other. I have no other darts. Cop Car Steve, do you think Dr. Art is trying to subvert the rules on a dirt track race? Trying to get one over on you? I'm gonna race him. I'm gonna race him in that thing that he's got, the giant truck with the supercharged thing, and I'm going to race him, and I am going to beat him. So yes, I don't know where he came up with that, but uh, I'm just scrolling up here. Uh, Hitting you up, isolation isn't good, bro. I've tried. Believe me, I've tried. I've tried. Rocco was saying, Reed, nitrous will be involved. You mean in the race against Dr. Art? Mm-mm. No, no. We're just gonna outdrive him. We're just gonna outdrive him. Oscar Gonzalez, should we start hoarding oil filters? I have. I bought 2 cases of them. It just so happens that the Jeep uses the same oil filters as the Mopars do. So yeah, I got 2 cases of them, just exactly because as soon as I heard about that, I was like, simple things like that. You know what I mean? That you know you're going to go through. So yeah, I bought 2 cases and put them on the shelf. Um, Sleeper Red, I take the red 2-door and do the Woods toilet run. No, man, I'm going to do it in the Belvedere. I have I have a vision for that car. I have a vision for that car, and I want it to be an off-road hot rod. I want it to be an off-road hot rod, like a traditional hot rod, but set up to go through the dirt. So not necessarily dirt drags like the 300-foot grooms dirt drags, but something that you could take like on any surface and just make hits with it, and be able to drive it in the off-road too. So yes, there'll be much more on that probably this week. We're going to talk about what we're doing with that car and the plans. Um, Cop car, Steve, you have to put 410s in the rear and some wide ditch diggers to get a jump on them. I've already got 486s in the rear. So yeah, there won't be any problem with that. Um, Shift and Fix Garage. I want to see more of your first gen Charger. I remember seeing your older videos of that car, and I always thought it was badass. I was driving it for I don't know a couple of few weeks. It was my daily again about a month ago when I had that XJ apart. It's sitting up at the shop right now. It's turnkey. It's ready to go. I haven't been driving it. It's been cold, and the car has zero heat. So it's but back in December, it was my daily again. Uh, Scoop is saying my idea. Oh, Thunderbird. My idea is to do ice drag racing. I've seen that, man. No, I don't want to do anything in the cold. Uh, and then Fubar just put a link up to my merch. So thank you, Fubar. If you're wanting to support UTG, we've got our shirts and our hats and stickers and other things that I'm not really sure of. Kathy Bananas, Cinnamon Bananas is her street name, but Kathy Bananas runs the merch program. UncleTony'sGarage.com. Just follow that link that Fubar put up there. And yes, thank you for supporting our efforts here. Um, Joker, Tony, have you ever been out to the Saw Flats? No, I haven't. I've been to El Mirage, but not while they were racing. Um, so when I was in California for the Winter Nationals in 1989 or 1990, we 89, I think it was. I did while I was out there for that race, I did a road test for a Street and Strip Supercar magazine on a Shelby. It wasn't a Charger; it was a Shelby Shadow. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. But it was Shelby, and he had actually Carol gave me. He had the chili. They had first started making the chili, and he gave me a box that was in his office, right? Like a pre-production box of chili, like a promotional box of chili. So I got a box out of the first shipment of Carol Shelby chili. But while I was there doing the road test on that car, I went to El Mirage, and I says, well, I have to take a piece of this home, and so that right there is a hunk of El Mirage, which for you guys who aren't familiar, it's a dry lake, and it's like the birthplace of hot rodding, of drag racing. It was drag racing before it was two cars going at it. They would just run singles, through the dry lakes, and that is a hunk of El Mirage. Um, so what time is it here? Oh wow, it's the 2 hour mark, which means that I'm done. I'm tired. So I'm gonna pack it in, guys. This was a fun night. This went really fast. So our awesome mods, Zero Fubar Mexican Spec, guys. Thank you so much for everything you do. Every time you do it, you are awesome. Everybody contributed super chat. Thank you so much. Never expected, but always appreciated. And everybody who contributed with your presence and your conversation, thank you, because it's your clicks that pay my bills, and you have no idea how grateful I am for that. So thank you. And that's it, right? Hit the like on your way out if you can. If you're so inclined, just hit the button on the way out. That it always helps the channel. And if you want to keep hanging out, go over to Jamie, Dead Dodge Garage, because he does it live every Sunday night that overlaps hours. So we go off the air, and in an hour, he's on for another hour after that. So head over to Dead Dodge Garage and tell him his weird uncle from Tennessee sent you. And that's it. I am going. Oh, Mexican Spec is going to be live in an hour. See, wow, we got lives happening all over the place here tonight. So Mexican Spec will be live in an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll be sound asleep by then, bro. Uh, so that's it. I think we're out of here. Yes, we're out of here. And so I'll catch you guys tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday with Dr. Art. Good night, all.